Now we are joined by the new associate head coach for the Lady Raider basketball team, Coach Melanie Balcomb. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time. Welcome to Lubbock. I was curious, where are you this morning, or have you made the transition to Lubbock yet?
Yes, I'm in a hotel, actually. I got out here 2 days ago. When the coaches got off the road, I was here, and I've already starting work in about 2 days now.
Okay, so have you been able to introduce yourself to a lot of the team and the players and everybody around there?
No, there's only a couple players here on campus. I've been in the gym with a couple of them so far, but some of them are coming, some of them are going. July is such a heavy recruiting period. We're not doing as much as we will be doing with them shortly.
Coach, I realize you've been on the job about 11 days at this point, but what's the first thing on your list that you're going to work on with this Lady Raider team?
Well, I've been watching a lot of film. And now I just need to watch the players. I think it's too early to put specifics down for what we need to do. I'm going to watch a lot of film with Coach Whitaker and figure out, where she's at, what we as a staff really go over everything so that when we start putting stuff in August that we're all on the same page, first of all.
She's Melanie Balcomb, the new associate head coach for the Lady Raider basketball team. 21 seasons as a Division I head coach, also the all-time winningest coach at Vanderbilt. Besides that stop, Coach, where else have you been along your career?
I started early on, right out of college. I started at Niagara University in New York and went from Niagara, which was D2, changing into D1. And so I was in low D1, and then I went to Ohio U as an assistant when I was mid D1. And then from there, I was in a top 25 program at Providence, upper D1, and we won the Big East and beat UConn, so that was fun. And then I got my first head coaching job after that success at a D2 program, Ashland University in Ohio. And then from there, got my first Division I head coaching job at Xavier, and was at Xavier 7 years, and then down to Vanderbilt for 14.
Coach, looking at what you guys have been able to do, and with all the stops you've been, what was the conversation like with Coach Whitaker about you joining the Lady Raider program?
Well, I'm in a position in my life where I want to serve. I want to help the game in any way I can, help the coaches in any way I can. Working with Dawn Staley over at South Carolina and winning a national championship was awesome. But my biggest thing with Candy is I want to get back on the court, and I really want to make an impact, a bigger impact with the student athletes, the coaching piece, the teaching piece. I'm a coach, and I got to do a lot of things with my family last year. I have 2 young children, and I needed to step back, and that, all that was great. But, I talked to Candy about really getting much more involved on the court with the players, building those relationships, and winning more games. And that was pretty much it.
Melanie Balcomb, the new associate head coach for Texas Tech Lady Raider basketball team, joins us here on the Benchmark Hotline, 770-5973. Coach, any memories of either playing Tech or coaching against them, as I'm sure you've possibly, have you ever come across them in your career?
No, and that's what's weird. I think God has such a hand on me right now and a plan to, like with Candy, I want to help a young coach. And I did not know Candy and never had scheduled games with her. I've played Oklahoma 3 times, but, those type of things. But we played Texas last year. I felt like I had been everywhere. And I felt like I knew so many coaches. But Candy being a young coach, I'm kind of going at it in a different way where maybe I can help somebody that I'm not real familiar with that's not won 30 games and wants to win 35, really that I could help that was such a young head coach and have a different kind of impact. But Tech, I've been out here recruiting in the early 90s. I've been out to Lubbock and Amarillo, but other than that, I really had never been here to campus or had seen the facilities at all except for on television.
Coach, I'm a firm believer that you can always learn new things. What did you learn last year in the championship run?
I learned a lot. It's a long list, but to start with, they have support from the top, and that's what's here, and that's what I was also very excited about is the support from the administration the president, everybody involved that surround. Dawn has such a good staff around her, and it's above her. And to get around those people, I learned so much from everybody, from the administration to the equipment guy and everybody in between. Not just the X and O piece or the relationship piece, but just how to be in a program that is just so supported. And that's what I was, with Marcia Sharp still being associated with the program, and I looked up to her like I did Pat Summitt and Jody Conrad, and they were people that were role models for me. And so, I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot here as well. But if I had to pinpoint one thing, I would probably say, X and O wise, it was just the pro game. I've been in college, and Dawn played in the pros. She played USA basketball, so I learned a whole nother game, even X and O's, which is something that is my strength. I gained a lot in that area as well, because the pro game is very, very different than other things as far as the college game in women's basketball.
Melanie Balcomb joins us on the Benchmark Hotline. Again, only 11 days on the job here for Texas Tech. I was curious, Coach, have you ever thought about professionally coaching at that next level, or has college always been the kind of the place you've wanted to be?
Well, I think for me, I have not thought about the WNBA and professionally, because it's a really intense 4 months, and then you have an off season. And right now I have 2 young children, and that's why I took a step back to South Carolina. They just turned 6 and 5 this spring, and I don't want to. They're off for the summer. That's when I would be in an intense situation and living somewhere for 6 months and not be around them. Have I thought about it for the future? Yeah, I think down the road when they get older, that might be something I go into at the end. It's more X's and O's, and it's not the player relationships, and it's a business. But right now, I'm not looking to be in the business of coaching. I'm looking to make an impact in young women's lives, and what I enjoy doing the most.
Coach, what's your next step here? I mean, obviously, you're still in a hotel, so I imagine getting a house and getting the family moved here and everything is top priority on the list. But what's after that? What's the next thing you guys are working on?
Well, I go out on the road recruiting next Saturday. We go out for 7 days. So they had a recruiting period for, 2 days ago, all came home. We'll be here. We're working on the recruiting list and the traveling for the 7 days at the end of the month. And then I'll go back and help move my family out to Lubbock. And then from there, we'll start workouts when school starts. And, I think it's going to be like everywhere else, where you start, you build up in your strength and conditioning and your individual works. And we're going to be doing a lot of individuals, and they were doing them. Like I said, I've seen some players already. But then building a system on and off the court with the players, and that's what I'm looking forward to, is meeting the players here and getting to know them right away, and what they want and what their motivation is.
Cheryl Swoops, a beloved figure here at Texas Tech. Have you had a chance to meet her, and what are your thoughts of her joining the staff as well?
Well, she's not here yet, so I haven't met her here, but I have met her on the road. And, again, somebody that I just have so much respect for. I think she's probably the best player to ever play in our game. And I just know her as a very strong woman that's very articulate and bright and charismatic. And when I met her, or I have seen her on the road, I can remember vividly when I met her, and that says a lot about a person. But I'm really looking forward to working with her as well.
Coach, I know I'm not going to ask you about a specific recruit you're going after, because I know you can't talk about it. But if you had to describe the type of player you're looking for, what are some of the basic characteristics of a player that you want to wear the red and black here?
Yeah, for me, it's all about the intangibles and the things that you can't coach. I've been doing this a long time, and so I look back at who was successful and why they were successful when I was coaching them. And, it really comes down to your core values. It's like we're really, in a lot of ways, their boss. And if they don't have the same core values, they're not going to do the things that we want them to do, and then it's going to be a tough relationship and for 4 years. So I really, my core values are work ethic and commitment, and unselfishness. And I want somebody with a high motor. I want somebody that is has a great attitude of unselfishness, wants to be a part of a team and something bigger than themselves. I take skill over athleticism, which is I want a skilled player because at 18 I can enhance their skills, which I love developing and coaching, shooting especially, and passing and ball handling, the three skills. But somebody that is skilled, I can teach them skills, but that motor, that engine, that desire and heart, that they're going to be tough as crap. I don't know how else to put it, but toughness and all those intangibles is what I look for. And then, of course, the most athletic in that situation that they can be.
She's Melanie Balcomb, the new associate head coach for the Texas Tech Lady Raiders. Coach, thanks again for your time. Congratulations. Welcome to Lubbock. Have a little fun. Have a little fun this upcoming season.
Okay, thanks a lot. Enjoyed it.
Melanie Balcomb.